So if you're going to start an agency in 2024, it should be a niche agency. The reason for this is there are just loads of agencies around now, and there are so many generic agencies. People are looking for more specific things. The internet is becoming more and more decentralized, and your market are becoming more aware that there are probably better people to serve them than generalists. So, for example, SEO agencies for lawyers, SEO agencies for dentists, or marketing agencies for dentists, marketing agencies for lawyers, for plumbers, for tradespeople, for travel industry. You name the industry, you could probably create a boutique agency that serves that particular industry. So that's a given, and I think even though the generalist model can work, I just think it's wise now to look at niche markets and to look at how you can actually specialize and really serve one industry. But there's one thing you need to do before starting a niche agency. Like, it's so important. Don't just go into it blindly. Don't go into any business blindly, but a niche agency, you need to know your numbers. You need to know exactly what the market looks like, how big it is, how much money you can make. So what I'm talking about is TAM analysis. So you do this with products. If you're familiar with like e-com or FBA, you do a total addressable market analysis, and you find out, right, okay, how many people could buy this? How many people in the world are actually applicable to buy this. Total addressable market, it stands for. Now, as an example, let's say you want to do SEO for funeral parlors in the US, right? Funeral parlors, right? So you think, well, there's a lot of them, maybe. Let's just do it. You need to know exactly how many you've got to go after. And for example, if you're in the US or if you're in the UK, find out how many businesses that you're going after are in your country to begin with, because that's a good start. You're probably going to get customers from your country to begin with, especially if you're running like a traditional agency model. You could do a world model. So what you can do is really simple. You just go to Google and you'll search how many funeral parlors in the US. I haven't spelt that right, but maybe it will correct me. And then you're going to get some data. I'm not saying this data is going to be like super accurate, but you could probably open up a couple of these results and find like a number you can trust at least a little bit. So like this one's saying there's 22,700 funeral home businesses. And this one's saying there's 19,000, so that's 22,000, 19,000. So we're looking at 20,000. Let's go with the higher number. So 22,715 businesses just in the US. If you were targeting UK as well or Australia, you could add these numbers together. But you could say US to begin with, just to give it like a bit of a, going in conservatively. Now, let's say you can close 1% of these. Right? I always use the percentage 0.1 because I think it's just realistic, and it starts somewhere. 1% of 22,715 is 227 roughly. So let's say you can close 227 of the total addressable market, which is 22,715. 227, I would say you could probably get that done in 3 to 5 years. Assume some will drop off, assume you might get some more. 227 seems reasonable to me. Like if that number was in the thousands, like you might think, well, okay, this is a really big market. I need a bigger investment, or I need a longer time horizon. But I think 227, if you look at it over 3 to 5 years, 227 divided by 3, 75 clients a year. So divided by 12, that's around 6 new clients per month. You know, it's doable. It's doable. Let's say it's over 5 years, it's certainly doable. That'll bring the numbers slightly down. And let's say you have a low cost retainer. So if it's a local industry, you might have a retainer at $1,000 or $1,500 or maybe $2,000. You might have something around that price. It's certainly not going to be for funeral parlours. You're not looking at like a traditional agency model of $5,000 or $10,000. You're going to be looking at these lower end prices. And I've put $500 here because I want to be super conservative. I want to look at, like, let's just say we're going really low ball. We're doing special offers. We're doing like Facebook ads to a really, really low ticket offer. And yeah, we're just being conservative because these numbers, you know, they're very, very high level. We're not trying to get exact business plan numbers here. We're trying to find out if it's a viable market. And at that, at the capacity, you're closing 1% of them at the $500. That's 1.3 mil a year by the end of year 3, year 5, or $113,500 a month. And that's probably with a small team. You know, you've probably got a founder, you've probably got a sales or account manager, or maybe 2 sales account managers. If you're getting 4 to 6 clients per month, you might need two sales guys at that, you know, to be closing a few deals a week, or at least a deal a week. And yeah, that would be something, that'd be where you'd end up at. So 1.3 mil. So that's, you've done your 5-year runway, and that's realistically what you're going to get at the end of it. So you can run the numbers and you can get some expectations of this. You can see how many new clients you need to get a month. That means how many sales guys you need, how many people do you need delivering on those clients. In local markets, you don't need that many people delivering on stuff. You can use outsourced providers. You just need the sales guys closing the deals, looking after the accounts, setting up the strategy. So if you're good with that number, 1.3 mil, which is a pretty decent number, I think, for a niche agency, and this is a small niche relatively when you compare it to like lawyers and dentists and stuff, then go for it. If it isn't good for you, but maybe you're caught up on this niche, maybe you know a lot about funeral parlours and you want to carry on in this niche, you might want to say, well, let's do UK as well, in Australia, and we're going to be, you know, all English speaking markets, and this number might go up to 2 mil a year, or it might go up to 3 mil a year. And then you might want to say, well, let's go for like web design as well. So when you add web design plus local SEO and maybe plus PPC to the mix, you know, you could probably get that in at 1,500 per month, something like that, because you're really adding some value. Or you might do the web design as a kickoff at 1,000 or maybe 2,000, and then you do local SEO and PPC at 1,000 per month. It's really adding more numbers to the game. So that 1.3 might become 2 then, which might be more attractive to you. And you can do this in any industry you want. So, you know, if you wanted to do how many lawyers in the US, it's 1.3 million lawyers. So you can see how the number changes there. Lawyers, however, is a lot more competitive, and there's a lot more lawyer SEO agencies. You could even go chiropractors. So 70,000 chiropractors in the US. In which case, you know, 70,000, let's say you get 1% of those, that's 700. And then you do the 700 times 500, which is the real low ball offer. You got the 350,000 a month, which is 4.2 mil a year. So chiropractor SEO business in the US is looking good. Let's just have a look if there is any of these. Chiropractor SEO agency. I can't really see any dedicated chiropractor SEO agencies, which is interesting. But yeah, there are agencies that are directly offering it, but there's not like a specialist one. Maybe this one is ChiroPraise. Okay, cool. So this is one. This is exactly one. That's really cool. Yeah, I love it. So they're doing Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, TikTok ads, everything for a chiropractor. That's really good. Yeah, anyway, so that's something you need to do before you start your niche agency. Do the TAM analysis, and that gives you an idea of how big or how profitable, how much revenue you can generate. It even gives you an idea of how many clients you need to get to reach that in how many years. For example, with this one, 700 clients to get. So 700 divided by, let's say, divided by 6. Yeah, 116. 116 divided by 12. So even at 6 years runway, you need to be getting 9 new clients a month to hit these numbers for chiropractor, which is a big ask, and you need a bigger team. So you can see that the TAM dictates the dials that need to be turned and how many salespeople you might need, how many account managers, that kind of thing. So have a play with these numbers. And if you want to talk more agency stuff, go to scalers.so. It's a free community just for agency owners, people who want to start agencies, scale their agency, productize, niche their agency. Have a look inside. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video.